All right, hello, happy Friday. I think it's gonna be Friday when you guys listen to this, but welcome back to 2 and 5 Scoop. We're back, cover more Eagles. Got to reflect on that Cardinals game. Got to do our hot takes. You know the deal. So yeah, let's just hop right into it. Asher, how you doing, by the way?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Like I said on episodes before, as long as the Eagles keep winning, I'm gonna keep giving you that answer.
Yep, I'm the same exact way. I can't complain about how things are going right now, especially in
Yeah.
all Philly sports.
hmm
But let's just jump right into the hot takes. Asher, How'd you do last week, by the way?
I hit a lock. Breaking
Okay,
news, everyone! Stop the presses.
finally.
The Buffalo Bills creamed the Pittsburgh Steelers. No
Yes.
doubt about it. Then
There
I
we
also
go.
got the Patriots creamed the Lions. Shut out the Lions.
Finally.
Things are
Finally.
looking up in Boston, and the New Orleans Saints beat the Seahawks. So I got all my straight picks and my lock. Missed all
Good
my hot
stuff.
takes, but I'll
All
take what I
right.
can get at this point.
Yeah. I hit both of my straight picks, and I hit my lock as well, and I hit one of my hot takes.
Okay.
I'm gonna run through my hot takes from last week. I said the Cowboys were gonna lose by 3. I'm not counting that because they won, but I said it was gonna be close.
Right.
But it wasn't even close to begin with. I think the Cowboys won by like 16 points or something like
Yeah,
that.
16 or 18.
Yeah, something like that. But okay, so I got Colts over Broncos. I called that.
Right.
I got hype. It was the most lame game ever,
That
but
was
I
the
got
worst game
excited.
I've ever watched in my life.
It was so boring. And we had to watch them again on primetime this week. They're
Yep.
on Monday Night
At least
Football.
we see them going against the Chargers, so there's some
You
interest in there.
are you fucking kidding me? Like, was there that much hype behind the Broncos this year?
There was. I mean, it makes sense. It's just like it hurts now that I don't know how many more primetime games they have, but like 2 consecutive primetime games.
How many prime? They've already. They what? This is their third, right?
I believe so.
Jesus Christ!
I would assume they have at least one or two more.
My God. All right. So with that being said, I got +3. Both of my hot takes, so +5.
Yep.
No, +4.
Both
So
straight
3
picks are
plus 4
scored.
is 7.
Lock
I
is
got
one.
+1.
Yep.
So that puts me at 37 points.
37. That puts
You
me
were at
at
11.
huh?
You were at 11. It was last 29 to
Okay.
11.
That's what I thought. Okay, so I'm at 16 now. 36 to
So
16.
38 to 16.
38 to
37
16.
to 16. Sorry, I was at 29 plus 8,
37, yeah.
37.
Can't.
All
I
right.
don't even think I
So
can come back from that
current
one.
score 37 to 16.
Yes.
Asher, why don't you start us off with your lock?
All right. I've got the Rams over the Panthers this week.
Okay.
The Rams are just not playing up to what we expected this week or this year so far. There's just too much talent, and Sean McVay is too good of a coach for that team to just continue playing the way they have. And the Panthers are a bad football team, and they get to play them at home. So, coming off a bad taste in their mouth with that loss against Dallas,
Yeah.
they got to show some fight this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. And I think the Rams definitely have a little more margin for error against the Panthers team.
Definitely, yeah.
Honestly, I think they can play poorly and still win that game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a really good lock for you. Me, I have Niners over Falcons. Niners have looked really good. They just curb stomped the Panthers last week. They curb stomped the Panthers. I think the score was like 37 to 15. Falcons are even worse than the Panthers, so I expect more of the same.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my lock. As far as straight picks, my first straight pick is I'm having the Bills over the Chiefs. One of the most entertaining games of the season. Well, highly anticipated, entertaining games.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the Bills getting their revenge this time around. I just think they're a better team than the Chiefs, honestly. Just the way they look. I don't know. They're pretty dead even still, I would say. But I like the Bills here.
Yeah, I really didn't want to touch that game just because of how competitive those two teams are. But the Bills have had that circled on the calendar since last year's loss.
Yes.
That insane game in Kansas City, losing overtime. You don't get the ball back. It spawns a whole new set of overtime rules in the playoffs. All that.
Yep.
They're hurting. They want to beat the Chiefs. They lost to the Chiefs in the last two. The Chiefs have sent them home in the last 2 years in the playoffs. So
Exactly. They want their revenge, and I think they finally get it this year. I think this is their year, really. I think it's their year. What's one of your straight picks?
my straight picks. I'm gonna keep rolling with the. If the Patriots had lost that game last week, I'd give up on them. But they
We'll ride the Patriots train.
to use your phrasing, they curb stomped the Lions last week. Shut them out. What was
Yeah.
previously points wise the number one offense in the NFL held them to 0 points. So they're playing the Browns this week. The Browns just lost to the Falcons last week. The Browns have Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. They're just not a great football team until Deshaun Watson returns. And the Patriots are starting to look like, at least last week, what I thought they would be. So I'm going to keep rolling.
Well, except Bailey Zappi is under center.
Yeah, that makes me even better.
So, like, what the hell? Who's Bailey Zappi? Where did he come from? We'll talk more about that later in the episode, but let me just go over my second straight pick, which is Bengals over Saints. I think we've kind of seen what the Saints are going to be this year. I predicted what they are is what I thought they were going to be. Saints are mid. Jameis Winston's not a good quarterback. He's very volatile. He's very up and down. I said this from the beginning of the year. I was like, stop getting on me. The Saints are not a 12, 13 win team. They are 8, 9, maybe 7 wins. They're not that good. Yes, they have a good defense. Okay, I'll give you credit for that. But they're not. Their offense just isn't great. Their offense is just mid. That's all it is. As long as Jameis Winston is under center, I don't even know who played last week. I know he's been injured.
I don't know. Like I said, I picked the Saints to win last week, and they did. The difference between Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton starting is really not much at all.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean that too. And that's another thing that I said. I was like, listen, Jameis Winston's also injury prone. So if you're going to sit here and say that, Jameis Winston is, he's a top 10 quarterback. Shut up. He's injury prone. He's really not that good. He had a good 6-game stretch last year. He had a good 6-game stretch before he went out. That was it. Stop overhyping him. The Saints, I'm sorry. I just had to go on a rant there because I'm so tired. I'm still getting comments on TikTok.
On that TikTok.
Saying, you're hating on the Saints too much, man. You're hating too much on this. Shut up.
Well, it's possible okay? They can turn things up later. It's important to note that Alvin Kamara has been nursing an injury for pretty much all of this year so far. He's still nursing an injury, which makes picking the Bengals over the Saints. The Bengals have been not good this year, which makes me not want to touch that game either.
Well,
but they're a more talented team than the Saints. It's easy to say that.
Mm-hmm. Although Zach Taylor has been pretty underwhelming as far as the coach.
Absolutely true.
I think he's been pretty atrocious. I think he doesn't know how to use that offense. I don't know what happened. I think the rest of the league kind of caught up to him, I guess. I think he had a little bit of magic. Caught lightning in a bottle last year, and that's kind of what let him go on a run. But I think we're starting to see some true identity from Zach Taylor.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Now you picked the San Francisco 49ers to beat the Falcons. Yes. I agree with you there, but instead of going with that as my lock, I decided to throw a little hot take in there and say they're going to hold the Falcons to single digits.
Ooh, okay.
The Niners defense has been really, really good this year. I believe they haven't let an opponent score over 20 points yet this year. And that Atlanta offense is just not that great. Marcus Mariota starts at quarterback. Just doesn't have many weapons. So I just feel like they're, the talent difference is just so great between that defense and that offense.
All right. I'm going to start with my coldest hot take. All of them are hot. I mean, they're hot takes. I'm going to go Jets over Packers. I think the Packers looked really weak last week. I think the Jets are kind of rising in stock in the NFL. Right now, they're locked into a playoff spot. They're 3-2, better than everybody thought that they would be. I knew the Jets were going to be a pretty solid team this year, but I wasn't expecting them to, show as many flashes to this point in the season. Very impressed with them. I'm very happy for all New York Jets fans, not New York Giants fans, but New York Jets fans. I'm happy for you. Dan Prasad, if you're listening, or Trevor, shout out Trevor. Matt Schwab, all of our Jets fans out there. We're happy for you. I'm really happy to see the Jets kind of doing well and being a respectable team in the league again. Yeah. But I got them beating the Packers this weekend. And then I will follow up with another one of my hot takes, and it's tonight's football game, Thursday Night Football, the game that nobody's looking forward to. And I think it might get the lowest viewership like ever for any primetime game. I mean,
Yeah.
that in itself, that could be one of my hot takes. But to make it football related, I'm going to say this game ends in a tie. I think it's that kind of game. These
Wouldn't that
teams
just
are
be
both
fitting?
atrocious. They're awful. Their offenses aren't good. Their defenses aren't good. I think it's going to be a whole bunch of nothing. I think it's going to be a repeat of last week. Just a bunch of bullshit field goals because neither team can do shit with their offense.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's just one of those games where it's going to end in a tie. Another lame, boring, tumultuous Thursday night football game. Just not looking forward to watching it. I don't even know if I'm going to watch it. To be honest with you, I might watch like the first quarter, and if it's really that lame, I'm going to turn it off.
Yeah,
But
no, I've got an intramural basketball game tonight, which is at the same time as the game, and I'm not sad about it.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's sad about it. Me, I'm trying to figure out plans to avoid watching it. What else am I going to watch? The Phillies aren't on. It's the wrong day for the playoffs. So it's like that's the only thing I would watch. And I'm not touching bets in that game. I'm not betting on that game either. I mean, maybe I'll take the under, but anyway. Asher, shoot me one of your hot takes.
I really like where you went with the Jets over Packers pick. You know, the Packers just let well, not just, but 2 weeks ago let Bailey Zappi take him to overtime. Now, granted, Bailey Zappi could be better than we're giving him credit for. Sure seems like it at the moment, but they let him kind of throw all over them towards the end of that game. Zach Wilson is coming back. It's the Jets are, they have a winning record. It feels like Zach Wilson's season right now.
Yes.
He has yet to throw more than 2 touchdowns in a game in his career. I think that ends on Sunday against the Packers or more.
I like that. I like that pick. That's a really nice hot take. Now, is that 3 for you or is that 2?
I've got my last one. I've got the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the Buccaneers.
Okay.
That one I'm just kind of throwing out there. We don't know what the Bucs are yet, really. It feels like, they kept the Saints game close. They kept the Falcons game close. They really, they got demolished, but the score didn't show it, but, they really got outclassed by the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football 2 weeks ago. So, they're really still looking for an identity. They're still looking to find their footing.
I think so. Yeah.
Now they've got to go to Pittsburgh against a Steelers team that it feels like is underperforming thus far.
Yeah.
I think they're better than their record shows.
Yeah. And again, they got the Kenny Pickett experiment over there. I think he threw like 3 picks last time when he made his debut last week. Was it 2 or 3 picks or something like that?
He threw 3. Yeah. Only one of them was really his fault, but he's going through the rookie learning curve.
Yeah, he's going. But I like that pick, honestly. The Buccaneers haven't really impressed me that much this year.
Right.
And the Steelers are kind of one of those teams where it's like if they just like put all the pieces together, I think they could pull off an upset.
Yeah.
Now, my final hot take is pertaining to one of the biggest games of the Eagles season coming up this week. I think the Eagles and Cowboys combined for less than 24 points.
Wow.
That Eagles defense, I don't have confidence in Cooper Rush. I don't care what you say about Cooper Rush. Oh, but he's started 5 now. No, his defense has kept him in games.
Right.
That's what's happening. He's not a good quarterback. He's just doing the bare minimum, and the defense is doing the rest. That's what's happening. The Cowboys have a really good defense, though. So I think, the Eagles will be able to handle Cooper Rush and that offense, but the Eagles' offense is going to struggle against the Dallas Cowboys defense. Now, the outcome, that will come later. I will tell you guys later, but it's really, really interesting. I'm really excited for this game. I'm pumped.
Yeah, this is the most exciting Cowboys-Eagles matchup I can remember in a long time. I was looking back and just trying to find like what games have had kind of the same build-up. The last one I could really find was in 2014. We were both I think we were both 9-3 going into a week 15 matchup.
Yes, that was when we had
really
Mark Sanchez. Remember wasn't that Mark Sanchez year? Or Sam Bradford?
That may have been Sanchez, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember Sanchez went off against didn't Sanchez go off against the Cowboys on Thanksgiving or something?
Yeah, so we had actually we had gone in with the same record as the Cowboys on Thanksgiving, so we both had like 7 wins, and then we beat them, and then we lost the next week. They won the next week, so then we go into the last Cowboys matchup with the
Oh,
same record, and then they beat us. So
yeah.
that
Okay.
was two games that had a lot of build up because I think we were both like 8-3 or something like that. So
Yeah, I
that really
mean,
decided the division.
do you remember, was it 2019? Remember with the Zach Ertz, he did like the swim move and it was a stupid fucking pass interference call. Remember that game? That game was huge.
I
Like
don't
it
know if
was
I remember.
2019. I think that was
Yeah.
2019 or 2018.
Okay.
I can't remember which
I,
year it was.
I can't remember specifically a pass
But
interference like that.
no, you don't remember it? It was a pass interference. Zach Ertz did a spin, literally a swim move right off the line of scrimmage.
Off the route. Okay.
Yeah, right off the route, and they called it a pass interference, which was a bullshit call. And you know what that play was? That play was a 30-yard touchdown to Zach Ertz.
That kind of rings a bell.
You don't remember it? That was like massive. That
I
we were
wanna.
like 5-7. The Cowboys were like 6-6 or something like that.
I remember if we're gonna bring up just injustices against us by the refs in a Cowboys game, I think it was last year or 2 years ago where or either they fumbled on the kickoff or we fumbled on the kickoff, and we had very clearly recovered it. But
Yes, I
because
remember
they had
that.
blown the
I
ball
remember that.
dead,
No, that
they
was
got
the same
called.
game, Asher.
That
That
was
was
the
the
same
same
game?
exact game. We're
Really?
talking about the same game right now.
Okay, alright. That's the
Yeah.
one that's the injustice that I remember
Yep.
far more.
And then later on, and then remember when they scored the game-winning touchdown? Do you remember that game? They scored was it Amari Cooper?
Did that game go into? Oh yeah, the game-winning touchdown in overtime.
Yeah, he was like wide open in the end zone.
Was that all the same game?
That was all the same game, dude.
Oh wow, I'm remembering that as like different time periods.
Yeah.
That's
No,
interesting.
it was like different stages of pain throughout that
Yeah,
game. That's what it
those
was, dude.
hurt.
That's
I
what it
remember
was.
that Amari Cooper touchdown.
Yeah, no, it was painful. So that was that. But speaking of Dallas, might as well go straight into that. But before that, we need to talk about the Cardinals game.
Yeah.
So Eagles beat the Cardinals 20-17, start 5-0. Hurts goes 26 for 36, 239 yards, and has 2 rushing touchdowns. I want to talk about the defense. I think the defense looked weak. I think John Gannon kind of went back into his little cave and did his stupid crap again. That's what it looked like to me. He didn't bring any pressure. He was just really, really, I don't know, just liberal with his defense. Just like wasn't. I'm sorry, I should say conservative. He was really conservative with defense. Just like stayed back and didn't bring the pressure. I didn't like that.
I felt that way, after they had gone up 14-0, it felt like the offense and defense both played very conservatively.
Yes.
There was just, the running, it was a lot of running plays, a lot of short passes, a lot of screens to Devonta Smith. Why?
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? He's getting blown up by like 240-pound linebackers. The
Yeah,
dude's
and he's
like
a stick.
pounds.
Yeah.
The screens to Goddard work, but it's just the second half of that game just so reminded me of the Doug Peterson offense and the Jim Schwartz defense. Like that's really what it felt like.
Yes. Like that 2020 season, like that entire 2020 season.
Yeah,
that's what that second half
the
felt
entire like latter half of Doug's career. That's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And like I don't get why John Gannon decided to go back into his cave like that. Like our defense was dominant. We were doing great. We had sacked Carson Wentz 9 times. We went out and we forced 3 or 4 fumbles from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this week we can't do anything. And then like somehow they're able to march down the field last minute and they had to miss. Actually, I think our defensive lineman blocked that. Did you see the blocked field goal?
I didn't.
Yeah, it was tipped.
Okay, all right. That makes me feel because it just unless it's the double doink, it's so like not fun to win off a missed field goal.
It's not because it's like we definitely should have went to overtime there. Like
if
they had any other kicker. And fun fact, that kicker is actually from North Penn.
Is he really?
Yes. There's 2 North Penn kickers in the league, by the way.
That's
Brandon McManus.
Wow.
Brandon McManus on the Broncos.
Crazy.
It's North Penn.
He's a very good kicker.
Yes.
This guy
so is the Cardinals kicker. My buddy Jack Hughes. Shout out if you're listening, bro. But my buddy Jack Hughes knows him, and like it's cool. It's so cool. He was texting me the other day during the game. He was like, Damn, I low-key feel bad that he missed that.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's you, but not me. I'm pretty happy that he missed that. So, but yeah, if that once I found out that that kick was blocked, I was satisfied. I was like, all right,
Mhm.
we actually did something, and it looked like we won the game, not they lost it.
Right. Yes. It definitely did. Like even with the blocked kick, it doesn't particularly feel like we went out and won that game.
Mm-mm.
They just kind of made more mistakes than we did.
Yeah, well, the thing is that we started that game so dominant, and it
Mhm.
looked like the trajectory of that game was going to be a blowout,
Yeah.
similar to the 2017 Cardinals game when we beat them like 31-3. That's
Right.
what it looked like. Our offense was just marching up and down the field, and the defense was doing great, you know. But I don't know what happened. They just again, it's this thing where they let the foot off the gas and they get all conservative in the second half. I don't like it, and it scares me, especially against this Cowboys team.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. I don't want to take too much down stock after a win.
No, no,
Yeah.
not at all.
I'm happy with it. It's just I feel like I don't know much more about this team than I did after week 4. I feel like I didn't learn anything.
Right.
It's just like a win. I don't know much else
It
about it.
just happened. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel the same exact way. I was like, well, I'm not feeling pumped after this win.
right.
Like, I don't. It doesn't feel like I don't. When I saw we were 5-0, I was like, man, like this doesn't feel any different than 4-0. Like it's like, oh, let's go. Like we're undefeated still. Like it
Yeah.
didn't feel that way. I didn't
It
feel
was
that
it
like
was more just the relief of not losing instead of the joy of winning.
yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, and then I think we all felt. I don't know if you watched Jalen Hurts' press conference. He had something very interesting to say. I don't
I
know
did
if you
not.
watched it. So he said something along the lines of, he said, "I don't like hearing 5-0. I don't like hearing 5-0. I don't like hearing it at all because when we were 2-5, nobody gave a shit.
Mm,
So why give a shit now that we're 5-0?" His
interesting.
it was very strange the way he worded it, but
I don't know if I follow it.
I think what he was trying to say, he was like, "Is the job finished? No, it's not. So don't talk about our record."
Okay. I
I
see.
think that was his point. But a
Alright.
lot of people were like confused. They were like, "Oh, well, it sounds like he would rather be 2-5." I'm like, I don't think that's the case. That's not Jalen Hurts.
No, it doesn't sound like him.
But I mean, I get it. I don't like hearing 5-0. Honestly, I don't feel like we deserve to be 5-0 after that. I mean, the Cardinals game. I mean, we won it. We won it. A win's a win, but it didn't feel like a win.
Yeah, this one, on the other hand, will most definitely feel like a win if we win it.
Yes, yes,
Doesn't
the
matter how
Cowboys.
it comes.
Yeah, so we face them on Sunday night, prime time, exciting stuff. Cooper Rush, is he definitely getting the starting nod now?
Yes.
Yeah, so we're going up Cooper Rush and the Cowboys offense. How you feeling? What are you expecting from this game?
I really don't know. Real quick, I wanna say that, the Vikings are a little better than I thought. They're 4-1,
Told
number
you.
1 in the NFC North.
I told you. Another thing I'm right about, guys. See, I know my shit, okay? I know
I
my
still
shit.
think the Packers are gonna win the division, but it seems like it's gonna be very to the very end, the Vikings are gonna be pushing against them.
I think they're very even. I
Yeah,
think they both have
definitely.
their strengths and they both have their weaknesses.
But the Vikings are gonna be competitive in that division, so I
Mhm.
can say that we have faced one good team this year. That my main complaint about me not believing in the Eagles yet was that we haven't played good competition, but obviously the Cowboys are very good competition, and we have faced the Vikings already. So,
Exactly.
this game though, I mean, we said the same thing about the Cardinals last week. This game is another one that's going to show what this team's made of.
Mhm.
The good team, the good teams beat the bad teams. We said that the
Mhm.
good teams win the games that they should win, and the good teams beat their division rivals
Yes.
when they're only one game ahead of said division rivals in the race.
Especially at home.
Mhm.
Especially at home. I mean,
Absolutely.
this Eagles crowd is gonna be pumped. I mean, I don't think again, like we said, we haven't had like Eagles Cowboys matchup as high stakes as this since what 2019 when we had the chance to kind of take the division lead. I
Yeah,
think
at
but
least 3 years.
3 years ago, whatever. It's been a while since we've
Mhm.
seen this kind of competitiveness between these two teams, especially in Philadelphia. Because I think the game was played in Dallas. No,
I believe it was, yes. I think that was in front of their home
yeah,
crowd.
But for me, what I'm expecting, I said this earlier during my hot takes. I'm expecting a low scoring game. I'm expecting like a 17-10 or 14-10, something like that. I shouldn't say 17-10. It's going to be less than 24 points or
Mhm.
equal. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. The Micah Parsons is unreal. I think the Cowboys kind of have the answer to the Eagles' rushing attack. They have a really, really good pass rush. I don't know what their rankings are off the top of my head as far as rush defense and pass defense, but I just know they're really freaking good. I mean, there's a reason that they're 4-1.
Yep.
But as far as my prediction, I'm going to give the Eagles the edge here. I think it's going to be a very close game. I think it'll be close. And yeah, I think the Eagles probably win by like 3, maybe a touchdown. Currently, they're favored by what, 6.5? I think.
6.5. Yeah.
Yeah, they're favored by 6.5. So
That seems high to me. I was a
yeah,
little
it seems a
surprised
little
by
it
that.
seems a little too high. If I were a Vegas odds maker, I'd probably set the line at like 3, probably
Yeah.
like 3.5. That's what
I
I
mean,
would.
especially in divisional games, it always feels like things are things always become closer in divisional games just because you know that team better.
Exactly. I mean, look at the Super Bowl season. We almost lost to the Giants. We just kick a 62-yard field goal to win.
Yep.
Anything can happen. Um, but yeah, Dallas week. As much hype as there is, I mean, I'm excited, but I think we pretty much have covered everything in that department. Honestly, what else is there to cover?
Yeah. I mean, there's really not much else. Maybe I kind of want to talk about how we think Jalen Hurts is going to do
Word.
because this is.
I
I
mean,
feel like
this
this
is
is his
another
first
test for
real
Jalen.
test.
This is another test for Jalen.
Big
Honestly,
test.
big test. He goes up probably the best defense he's seen. I wouldn't say in his career. What do you say? Would you say career? Like this is gonna be like a career defining game, kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's a career-defining game in that this season has a lot of weight on how we're going to view him,
Mhm.
and this is the biggest game that he's played this season.
Yeah.
Because I mean, last year we were kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt, where this is your first season as the starting
Mhm.
quarterback, and
Right.
this year the pressure's on. He's been performing so far, but if you fold against a top tier defense, you're not a top tier quarterback for the most
Right.
part.
Yeah, I think this is the game where the Eagles kind of finally get their respect. I think. I mean, they're going to be on prime time. They're against a division rival. There's all these Cowboys fans. They're saying, "Oh, Eagles are going to get humbled on Sunday night. Eagles going to get
Yeah.
humbled." And I'm like,
CD Lamb said that.
CeeDee
Saw
Lamb. Yeah,
saw an
CeeDee
interview
Lamb.
with
Oh
CD
yeah, he
Lamb.
did say that. He did say that. I
He
think.
kind of got prompted. The reporter kind of let him into it. They're like, "Is this the week the
Yeah.
Eagles get humbled?" And he said, "Yeah." So like, he didn't
Yeah.
go out and say that himself.
Yeah. One more thing though. Before I want to move on and talk some like other shit in the NFL. It's pretty fun. But I want to talk about this quote from Travis. What? Jason Kelce. He was asked about, he was talking about Eagles fans and Cowboys fans and how they compare.
Mhm.
He said, quote, Philadelphia is this extremely localized diehard fan base that is authentic to all of them growing up together in this community. Majority of the Cowboys fan base is built on commercialism and all of this pop culture, Lakers, Yankees type fandom. I think he's right.
That's fair.
I think it's very accurate. Jerry Jones is a businessman. He's run the Cowboys like a machine. It's a brand. America's team.
Right.
America's team.
Oh, it's
So it
been
makes sense. And I love this quote. I think this is a really, really good quote, and I think it's spot on.
Yeah, I don't wanna discredit the Cowboys fan base too much because I feel like, they're not fair weather fans. Like, when the Cowboys are bad, the fans stick with them. The
Hmm.
Cowboys have been like, we love to shit on, how
Yeah.
disappointing they are for the last 30 years, how every year, "Oh, this is our year." But, like,
Mhm.
it takes a little bit of integrity to be able to watch your team disappoint you and then go into the next year still having hope and saying, "This is our year."
It's like Phillies fans.
Yeah, I mean, the really good fan bases are able to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cowboys just happen to have, because of that brand that they've made, they have a lot of fans that maybe are fair weather fans across the country. So they're just like, "Oh, I like the
Mhm.
Cowboys because the Cowboys are cool." the Cowboys were good, when I was growing up or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, you have those stupid Cowboys fans that were born in Philly, and they're just like, "Oh, I don't like Philly fans." So
Yeah,
I'm a
that that
Cowboys fan now.
that boggles my mind a little bit.
Like, shut up,
I'm
dude.
not talking about those people.
No need to put any thought to those people. Other things. I talked about this earlier. I'm pissed. I'm pissed off at the schedulers. I think they're regretting every single decision they've made. Broncos are on primetime again, Monday Night Football against the Chargers.
Mhm.
At least they're not going up against a team like the Colts again. I'll say that, but it's still ugly football. It's still ugly.
Watching the Broncos and the Chargers play and the Bears and the Commanders play on prime time while this week has a Bills-Chiefs matchup, how did that happen?
I don't know.
Who decided that the week that the Bills and the Chiefs play, it's not going to be prime time? Take our spot. We're the best prime time matchup this week.
4:25. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, what time do the Chiefs and Bills even play? 4:25.
Yeah, I think it's 4:25 game.
So it technically is prime time if you think about it. It's like partially prime time.
They throw the America's game of the week on there.
Yeah.
It's like if it was America's game of the week, they would be playing on Monday night or Sunday night.
Yeah. I don't get it. And then that was the other thing, the Bills Chiefs rematch. What are you expecting in that game, by the way? Are you expecting more of a shootout again? More overtime, more controversy, or what are we thinking?
Definitely, I don't know, man. The Bills' defense is very, very good this year.
Agreed.
The Chiefs' offense is very, very good, though. So, it's so hard to predict. I want to say that it's not going to be as much as a shootout as it was last year. But I feel like just the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes matchup where it's like those two fighting for who's the best quarterback in the NFL, along with within that, it's who's the best team in the NFL between those two.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that breeds a lot of a competition in those high scoring matchups.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And for me, what I'm expecting is, I'm expecting a high scoring matchup. It might even be a blowout to the Bills' favor. I'm not saying a blowout, but I think the Bills might win by a couple scores here. Okay. Just because of how improved. I think their defense was good last year. I think they're even better this year.
Definitely.
And the Chiefs, they lost Tyreek Hill. The Chiefs' offense, I mean, it's still good, but they don't have that over-the-top Tyreek Hill who can help you score a touchdown in 13 seconds.
Right, that's true.
So there's that difference too. I think the Bills have a little more of an advantage. Is it in Arrowhead, by the way?
I'm looking that up at the moment because I was just thinking that it is an Arrowhead.
It is an Arrowhead, so it
and
will.
The Bills are favored by 2.5.
Bills are favored by 2.5 in Arrowhead.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Okay.
Probably the only team in the NFL at this point that would be favored going into Arrowhead.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. That's shocking to me. That's really shocking. I think the Chiefs would be favored by 1.5.
Yeah, if I had to throw a couple dollars on it, I would probably take Chiefs to cover.
Yeah, I would take Chiefs to cover. Although, was it 3.5? Right, 2.5. Chiefs. Yeah, that makes sense. I would take. Yeah, that's a good bet out, honestly.
That Arrowhead crowd is really incredible. It's very hard to play there.
There's a reason why they have the record for loudest stadium in the NFL in the world or something like that. But that's interesting. One other thing. Let's talk about the AFC West, by the way, while we're talking about the Chiefs. AFC West. Pretty underwhelming this far, aren't they?
Definitely underwhelming. I mean, most of that due to the Broncos.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. And the Chargers had kind of chargered so far, in my opinion. Seems like they always have hype at the beginning of the season, and it's like they're going to be really good. There's always all these sports analysts that are like, oh, my God, watch out for the Chargers. But
most talented team. I feel like it's always the most talented team on paper.
Yeah, exactly. It's every year. I don't know why. I don't know why I believe in the hype anymore. I believed in the hype this year. I was like, yeah, they're going to win the division. This time the third. They're not winning the division. The Chiefs are going to win the division again.
Yeah, definitely it is the Chiefs' division to lose at this point. I can say there's hope for the Chargers.
There is hope.
They just got to, that offense floundered against Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they're going to figure themselves out at some point. Justin Herbert is too talented. the rest of that offense is too talented. Brandon Staley is too smart of an offensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos, you just can't say the same for them, though. There really doesn't seem like much hope for them at this point.
No, I think everything is just like not working there. I
Yeah.
think Russ is way too corny, and I don't think any of the players like him. I don't know if it was recent, but I was seeing a lot about how much the Seahawks did not like Russ and did not rally around him. I can't think of quotes, or I don't have quotes on me directly related to the situation. I just saw videos about it, and I was like, wow, okay. So apparently Russell Wilson wasn't very liked on the Seahawks. And I think that's being exposed on the Broncos now because now he has to like rally the troops and get everybody to believe in him,
Right,
and follow him. But that's not happening, and I think that's why we're seeing such a catastrophe happen in Broncos country right now.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Rule just got fired on the Panthers.
Yeah.
It seems like after that, Nathaniel Hackett, the head coach of the Broncos, has as hot a seat as anybody.
I don't know
Wilson,
if anybody's coming close to that, really.
Yeah.
Nathaniel Hackett has to have the hottest seat. Who else would I say? Who's coaching down in Las Vegas?
Oh, McDaniels.
He's
Yeah.
got to have a hot seat. He's got to have a hot seat. I think if you're in the AFC West and your team's disappointing, like the Broncos and the Raiders, you have to have a hot seat. I mean, you had so much hype. It looked like all four teams from that division were going to make the playoffs, and now we might have two.
Yeah.
We might have two playoff teams. I would say Chiefs and Raiders.
Raiders,
Chiefs and Chargers are probably going to make the playoffs out of all four of those teams right now.
And, along those lines, like you said, the microscope's definitely on Brandon Staley, the coach of the Chargers now, just because they have continually disappointed during his tenure.
Exactly.
And if it feels like this was the year, like it's either make the playoffs for him or bust.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Taylor just made. We talked about Zach Taylor.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we
just
did.
made the Super Bowl. Seems like he's regressed this year. It's his fourth year. I've heard whispers that they're getting a little fed up with him over there in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know how much stock to put into that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there's definitely guys that have hotter seats than Zach Taylor right now. I think some Bengals fans are kind of like holding on to that success that they had last year, and they're kind of like waiting for the team to kind of pick up. One thing that I'm surprised about, especially with the Broncos, and we got to come to a close here soon, but one more thing is the Broncos. Jesus Christ. The Bengals offensive line hasn't been that much improved.
No.
I thought adding a couple pieces would kind of help that out. And I would see I was going to say they had a great offensive line now, but at least it's not atrocious like it was last year.
Yeah.
It seems like it hasn't really changed. I think we're seeing more of the same story. It just sucks. It just sucks to see. And I think that magic that they had last year kind of isn't really there anymore. I don't know. I'm just sad for Bengals fans, really.
Yeah, it's one of the odder kind of like micro stories within the NFL that like with all those free agent pickups, kind of like patching up like the one big hole they had on their roster, and it just doesn't fix it at all, and the team overall gets worse. It's just kind of like a weird thing to look at after seeing their success last year.
Yeah,
there's definitely time to right the ship, no doubt. It's only
it's only week 6. We still have 12 more weeks in the season, so they have plenty of time. I mean, last year they kind of got into a hot streak at the end of the season, so that could easily happen again. We'll see what happens, but I don't know. But that's gonna do it here at 2 and 5 Scoop. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to hit subscribe, notification bell, follow on TikTok, Instagram. You see it all right down below. Asher, thank you for coming on as usual.
Of course, good to be here.
Asher, what do we say?
We say go Birds, beat Dallas.
Go Birds. Let's go.